Hello folks, I'm back with a firearms review. This is a very special firearm for me because this is a gift I bought for myself for my birthday. My birthday was last week, and I tend to try to do a firearms review or buy a firearm every year for my birthday, and this is the third one. And previously to that, there was the P09, and before that, there was the Springfield Armory loaded package. So this one is a special one to me. A late friend of mine, he got me into Sig Sauer pistols, basically the classic line, and it was the P226 he got me first interested in, and then the P220 that he got me interested in. And when I went to the store to pick up a P220, I looked at the counter and I was getting ready to handle that one, and then I found this particular one. As you see, it's just their usual usual things, literature that comes with it. And here it is. This is the P227 FDE. FDE standing for flat dark earth color. What I like about this is also a 45 ACP firearm. I'm kind of getting tired of the 9mm thing. I've been doing a lot of 9mm with the CZ line, but I wanted to at least have a 45 ACP in the Sig Sauer line. So this is it right here. If you notice, there's a few things different besides the color, and I'm about to show those to you. As we're going through the box here, you see your normal stuff that it comes with, but this is not just your normal cleaning brush, cleaning rod. I'll get back to this a little later and I'll explain all that. So I'm going to pause the camera right now and move all this stuff out of the way so you can just focus on the firearm itself. Outside of the usual goodies that it comes with the sticker and so forth, it comes with 2 magazines, and I'm going to safety check this so everybody won't have a conniption about it was not safety checked. And here you see it's clear and so forth. You can see that right through there, and it's going right on the table here. I really like Sig Sauer pistols. It's one of the pistols that I really wanted to get, and I'm just going to go through a few things about this pistol. Like I said, these are 10-round double-stacked magazines. They do have 14-round magazines. I went to the website, but unfortunately they are sold out at this time for this particular pistol, unfortunately. Let's start with the little bit of the specs on this. Like I said, it comes with 2 10-round magazines. The grips right here are different from your typical older models of the Sig Sauer pistols. These grips have been around. These are called the E2 grips. These grips have been around. They're one-piece grip. They've been around for a few years, but it's kind of new to me, and you really do get a very good purchase on this firearm with that type of grip. As you see, it's a one-piece molded piece here, and I'll get into about this grip a little bit later. But what I like about Sig is they do put that nice front strap checkering right here. There's really nice checkering right here, so you can get a positive grip, and you can really control this grip very well. It has a stainless steel slide. The stainless steel slide, as you see here, it's also has coated in nitron. That nitron finish is supposed to be a very durable finish. It usually comes in its blued configurations. As you see on the top of the slides, it has its Sig night sights on here, and your typical CZ controls as usual. Also, as everybody knows, you pretty much know already, this is a double action, single action pistol. You get to make the pull here. It's roughly about 10 pounds, but it's not bad. It's kind of it's smooth, but it does give a little bit of a resistance at this point. The trigger, like I was saying, the trigger does give a consistent pull. It's a little stiff, not, but it's smooth. It's a little stiff, but it still gives a smooth pull. I know there are some other double action pistols such as CZ that have a little bit of a better pull, but however, it more than makes up for it with its trigger, what they call the SRT trigger, which is called the short reset trigger. I'll get into that a little bit. You know the usual decocking lever that's right there that brings down the hammer safely. So you have like a hammer block. There's some internal safeties on here. So that way you can won't have any problems with accidental discharges. So testing that short reset, you see my finger comes out. There it is. That's your short reset. And I'll do that again. Here's your short reset. Your reset's right. My finger's going to come up, and you hear that audible click right there. And that's one thing that I like about the particular models, like this one. They have the short reset trigger. The thing about one thing about Sig Sauer, they tend to put out unicorn firearms. And what I mean by that is you're lucky if you find certain firearms out there. This one, as you see, is in flat dark earth. I've only seen maybe 2 or 3 other videos in this 45 ACP that's in flat dark earth. There are other, matter of fact, this used to be on the website, but for some strange reason, Sig recently took this off their website. So if you go on their website and you look for something on there, it's there and it's going to be there for a little bit and it's going to disappear. So I think what they do is they do limited runs of certain firearms. So if you see something that's really appealing to your eye, pick it up, because it's probably not going to be produced again because they put it on the website and it's gone. It comes with also, this is not a 1913 rail, which is a standard rail that the military uses. This is the Sig rail. How you can tell the Sig rail is that it's curved at the bottom. It's not like a straight rail like the military would have. This is just a curved one. It's proprietary to Sig. But however, you can still use other lights or lasers or whatever you feel, and it will work properly for you. I also want to give you some other information on the dimensions on this firearm. It is a 4.4 inch barrel. It's also 7.7 inches in overall length. And believe it or not, the regular P226 TacOps is at 8.1 inches and in overall length. So it's just a tiny bit larger, and the overall width is 1.5 inches, which is the same as the P226 TacOps. And the weight for this one, believe it or not, is 32 ounces, and the TacOps is 34 ounces. It's probably because it's a little bit more extended because it's a 20-round magazine. One thing that's interesting about both of these, both the P226 TacOps and the P227, as well as the P220, they share similar dimensions. So if you get, let's say, a holster, chances are these 3 firearms will fit in that particular holster. And just to show you, I'm going to do a safety check on this one. This is my TacOps right here. I'll pull that. As you see, it's safety checked. Nothing there. We're good to go. All right. If you look at these together, I don't know if I can get my camera to focus on that, but if you look the dimensions on the top of the slide are very close, but with the P227, it's a little bit thicker, or just a little bit thicker than the TacOps. It is the grips are just so similar when you have both of these firearms together. The grip is very, very, very similar that you won't feel like there's too much of a difference. A lot of times when you have firearms and they're the same manufacturer, you feel one and it doesn't feel like the other. So it's a very big difference, because especially because of the caliber difference. The grip to me on this one versus this one are very similar to each other. So that's why I think you're not losing much when you change from firearm to firearm. And you are also, like I said earlier regarding the holster compatibility, I think that's what it is. The thing about it is, this pistol here was derived out of the 226 because people were, back when this was being produced, when they first started it, they wanted something that was like the 226, but however, wanted something to be with a double stack, and that's what they did. You can say what you want. A lot of people will say, well, it's only about like 10 rounds versus this one being this. Well, the TacOps is 20 rounds. This is pretty good bang for the buck for a 10-round magazine in this particular firearm, and this is a really pretty decent. I prefer a pretty much like a full size, anywhere between a 4-inch firearm. And because I like it for at least this particular size, which is a duty size. I like this for home defense or range work. I like to do a lot of range work with this. What is, I the only thing, the downside with this is it doesn't have the beaver tail. And like I said, when Sig put these out, they put these firearms out, you just don't know what you're going to get. So I wish it did have this beaver tail, but it's no problem. No problem at all. It's really a very unique firearm to fire. I've taken this to the range, and I'll get you those targets. Before I get into the targets right away, I wanted to mention, I did mention this a little while ago. This right here is not just a cleaning rod. A lot of people think this is just an oversized cleaning rod. I thought it was an oversized cleaning rod as well. I'm going to show you what that is for. I'm going to break this down. This is one thing I loved about the SIGs back in the day. To me, they were like the Glockish type firearms, because all you do is you slide it off and you're good to go, and it can easily be broken down. What you do is, if you want to, like I said, this is a one-piece grip. All you have to do is put, now I'm going to try to do this through the camera. See this little nub right here? It's going into a spot right over here. I don't know if you can see that. So it hooks into there, and then there's another spot that's up a little higher. So you stick this in, and with a twist, I don't know if you can see that, it moves the grip. See that little gap with the grip? So if you want to take this off to do better, further cleaning, or maybe change the grip, I don't know if there are any aftermarket grips for this, or maybe Sig has some on their site, but that's what that is for. So you'll be able to do that. Hang on a second. Yeah, I always have trouble trying to get that off, so that's why I paused the camera there. And I did have fun at the range with this. As you see, it is dirty and a little bit greasy. I immediately took it out the store and went straight to the range, and that's why it is dirty as it is. So let's get into some targets right now. This first target was the actual first shots that I fired with it. This is at 7 yards, and I was just trying to feel around, and I think these groups are pretty good for 7 yards. It's funny, the first shot I fired was like dead on in the red, but unfortunately, as I started firing, I pretty much, I guess, flipped it over to the right a little bit, excuse me, over to the left and low. So that's why you have these little spots right here. So 7 yards, it was pretty good. And let me show the other target. This is again at 7 yards where I'm a little bit zeroing in a little more. So I'm getting a lot better with this. I really like this particular target. This is my second run. So that was about 25 and this was like 25 rounds here. And here I put this out to 12 yards. Still, I have to work on some things over on this side and over this side because I'm trying to really focus that front sight. And it was kind of a little bit difficult to get that front sight to where I want it to be. So I started drifting towards the left. Even though they're tight groups, I drifted over to the left, and that's what I didn't want to do. And the last target, this was sent around 20 yards. I was just fast shooting, and I couldn't see back there because this target is black, and the backdrop is black as well. So I couldn't really get the shots that I really wanted to get it a little tighter. But I noticed people later had the colored targets, which was interesting. So maybe I'll try a colored target and I'll get a better view of it. So I hope you like this review. And thanks and happy shooting.